might actually be Ardbeg. I can't remember now. I want to say it's either Lafroig or Ardbeg. We'll just find out what we get.
Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're taking a look at Smokehead 18-year-old Extra Black, 2009 bottling, 43% ABV. Dustin, I've seen Smokehead. I don't think we've ever brought one as far as a whiskey review.
I've had one Smokehead, and I'll be honest with you, Mike, kind of hated it. So I had no interest in bringing it to anybody.
But, yeah, you usually don't see old Smokeheads. This one being 18 years old, that's a nice age statement.
Yeah, usually they're NAS, and they're a lot of them are rumored to be like 4-year-old Lafroig, or it's very young whiskey.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know Smokehead, usually it's Isla whiskey. I guess I've always thought it was young Isla whiskey for the most part. Those are usually the ones that I've tried or I've had. So independent bottler. Ooh. This one comes off very light, 18 years old, so I'm guessing this is bourbon cask maturation. Are these single barrels or are these?
I don't know.
I almost want to say they were blends.
Got this from a subscriber and a guy I do occasionally trade some bottles with. As always, I generally don't like giving people's names out just in case they don't want it mentioned. But he gave me a couple of nice samples, and I'm super excited about this. He did give me like a little bit of a breakdown on this, but it was probably 6 months ago. And I figured we'll just kind of continue our theme of doing semi-blind sample reviews that we're kind of doing right now.
Yes, I have 50 samples. We need to start working through some of these things. All right. Smokehead 18-year-old Extra Black, 46%, 2009 bottling. So what do we got here, Dustin? We got 1991 vintage? Does that sound right?
That seems reasonable. Smells amazing. I'm getting some lemon. More lemon. Lemon sponge cake, actually, is kind of where I'm going here. Oh, man.
Comes off very old Kalila to me with that lemon note.
I could see that. I could also maybe get into like an off-profile Lafroig where the lime is kind of gone and the lemons come through.
Yep. Doesn't come off super smoky, at least initially. I'm getting a good smoke, but it's subdued.
Dare I say, could you say there could be some hints of Lagavulin here? Again, off-profile?
I'm getting vanilla oak with a twinge of either butter or banana.
I have gotten that a little bit on some young Lagavulins that we haven't brought the people because they're not that good, but...
If it is Lagavulin, I will say the Distillery Team 2018 pick. Mm-hmm. Comes off a little bit like that, which was I believe, if I'm not mistaken, a bourbon cask only first fill. First fill bourbon, 15 and 16-year-old Lagavulin.
Yeah, color on this being 18 years, bourbon cask most likely.
I agree. Lagavulins get super light. So do Kalilas, though.
Yeah. I really like this. I mean, it's rich. It's not like... It's very classic, integrated. It nose is older too. Like it's like the peat is really well integrated into the malt spirit with the oak. Not super smoky, but it's got a lot of peat.
Agreed. Well-rounded flavors too. Nothing's disjointed. Nice.
If you told me this was 25-year-old peated Scotch, I would believe you on the nose.
46% though. It's got some oomph to it.
Yeah.
Every time I will have one of these, I spend so much time in my mind trying to decipher which distillery it is. Mm-hmm. So I can try to more easily recognize flavors and things like that. I try to quickly figure that out and move on. I have no idea which one it is.
I'm loving it, man. Everything we've had tonight in our sample journey lately has been confusing and difficult and off-profile, which is kind of what you want.
I love challenging myself mentally. Like to try to break it apart, not knowing.
Oh man, it's so nice.
Because there are parts I could say Lagavulin. There are like that lemon lime. I could say Kalila. There is a bit of a cooling wisp to it where I could say Ardbeg. There's a minerality where I could say Lafroig. What do you got for me?
So I'm not going to guess on the distillery. I'm going to come back in for another one.
It's a good mix,
but it's very familiar. It's very familiar, and I just don't know which one I'm coming to. But a little bit of a flat soda thing's going on here, where it feels like it needs a little more of a bite. But it's got this beautiful, well-integrated, kind of reminding me of like Kalila 25, where you wish it had a little more oomph. but everything's really nice. It's well balanced, put together. The upfront arrival's got like a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of like, it's like bread that got a hint of vanilla extract, just barely dropped on it. Dusty, bready pastry notes, interesting, a little bit of fruitiness that's kind of lingering where you're getting a touch of a banana, a touch of a lemon, but it's very subtle. Everything here is very hard to pull apart right now. It's incredibly integrated. Almost too much. I think that's where I'm struggling here, is like it's so well put together that it's almost a flaw. It's like, hey guys, I want a little something to kind of punch me here.
Wow. I agree with a lot of the flavors you said. The vanilla is the lemon, lime, and all those are done so nice. They're melted together. I figured I could between the four distillers, Isla distillers we mentioned, I could say if it was light, it's Khalil or Ardbeg. If it's hearty and thick, it's Lagavulin or Ardbeg. I don't know if I have a great answer, but I guess I'm leaning towards a heftier malt on this. But I agree. Banana, lemon, lime, vanilla, nice little backbone of oak. Mm-hmm. Good oak note to it. Good vanilla oak, bourbon cask, backbone of this whole thing. If I had to guess, I'd say Ardbeg or Lagavulin. Lagavulin so rarely does stuff like that, though. So rarely sells stuff off.
I don't get the cooling on the finish.
I get the cooling in the nose and the glass, though, slightly.
Yeah.
For an Ardbeg. That'd be my guess.
It warmed up a little bit for me, which is making me lean more towards the Lafroigs or Lagavulins. There's an interesting upfront sweetness that I'm trying to put together. It's so integrated, and it's such a classic, well-aged Isla note.
I agree. I agree the sweetness is there, but everything, all of the fruit notes to me are blunt as far as the nose, as far as the taste. They're blunted by like that vanilla oak note.
Yeah, but no, I'm telling you, take a quick baby sip, and just that first initial touch on the tongue. It's classic, ultra-aged Isla, but I can't place or put words to it. It's a little bit on the umami savory side, but it's also super sweet.
It's drowning in vanilla too.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the vanilla's there, but there's something else that's just classic old Isla. I love that note.
That's Ardbeg.
I'm actually thinking more and more, giving me Ardbeg notes, but man, honestly, this drink's older than those 25-year-old Ardbegs we've had.
Yeah, this is.
Let me get the water here, Mike. I want to put a drop here because I'm wondering if it's going to cut through this oiliness. Because it is kind of a thinner dram. It's not super oily or rich.
Well, it's 46%, and we've had some cask strength whiskeys, but man, to me, it does have a very substantial, that buttery oak note to it.
Yeah, it definitely has that buttery oak. And it's not thin. It's subdued, it's subtle.
It's 46%, buddy.
Yeah, no. Well, some 46ers can drink really rough and aggressive, and some, whatever.
It's 18 years old,
It is kind of making me kind of think back to like the Ardbeg 19s where you don't get a lot of oomph. And you're kind of wishing you got a little more oomph.
Man, cool.
How you feeling?
Yeah, so those Ardbegs at the 19s and the 25s, sometimes that, lemon lime, the oak note kind of blunted those as well.
Yeah.
I'm getting a reminiscent view of that. But regardless, this one is a super solid offering.
Yeah, usually Lafroig and Lagavulin are punchier and bitier. So that's definitely making me think more Ardbeg. Water did a nice little bit to the nose. It actually brought out a little more fruit. A little richer.
It's probably unpeated Kalila.
I love unpeated Kalila. I think I would notice that one.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah, really nice. Well done whiskey. Like you said, integrated extremely well. 18 years old, 46% ABV. You can round off a lot of rough edges at that age, at that ABV.
Yeah. Really good finish, too. I'm really enjoying this kind of funky, umami. Like almost, I don't know, some kind of a fish sauce maybe or something. again, I don't have a really good comp to it, but I'm enjoying it. It's very savory, good peat, good oak notes. It's playing well with everything going on here.
I agree. It's moving
Really
around.
nice.
Takes water pretty well, even at 46% ABV. The note you're talking about, Owen, comes off like a tea note to me,
Okay.
to some degree. But yeah, I mean, still really complex whiskey.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I've never had a Smokehead like this before.
No,
I've always thought they were mediocre. They were mediocre enough whiskeys. I didn't want to bring them to anybody.
yeah,
As a review.
absolutely. But this is, and I don't know about extra black because I'm not getting any.
I mean, there is an oak note to it. Maybe,
there is, yeah.
Maybe it's a high. I never. I guess it didn't come off high char, but
Yeah,
maybe it is.
or maybe it's just a series, and the extra black just means they're older. I mean, that could be, but I was kind of hoping maybe for like a little bit more char or something. But beautiful, classy whiskey. This is. You ever been to Total Wines? Because I know there's not any around here.
I've been there, yes.
Yeah. So if you go into Total Wines, you'll see like they've got these undisclosed Isla, and it'll be 30 years old, 35 years old, and they're usually 40%. I really have always hoped that they would be something like this. Subtle, soft, but had a lot of complexity and nuance. I've never had one, and I'm scared to buy one, but I'm hoping there's something like this, which is independently sourced, off-profile whiskey, but that is just really well done and sophisticated. Because this is excellent for what it is.
I agree. Where as far as the whiskey score?
I'm going to give it an 89. I might be going a little higher than I was initially thinking because I don't think the finish is really strong. It's not a wow whiskey. This isn't something that's punchy, bitey, that it's going to impress you.
But if you're an Isla fan, you'll recognize it, and this will be a. If you're an Isla fan and you like standard Isla bottlings, you should be impressed with this.
This is a very high quality, well done, but not super exciting. So if you're somebody who buys Isla for the punch and the youthful peats, this is going to be very low on your list.
Agreed.
Pass hard. But if you're somebody who enjoys age and enjoys subtlety, this is a really well constructed, put together whiskey.
Ardbeg 19. Just off-profile Ardbeg 19.
This is even softer than the 19, but
This is the lot B of Ardbeg 19.
but it's actually it's more sophisticated. It's more put together.
I agree. It's a funner whiskey to drink. More fun.
I think the 19 is more fun because it has a little more punch and has a little like those sherry notes coming through. But this is just better. This is just better.
Yeah, Dustin. I was between 88 and 89, but I'll meet you right there, head to head.
All
89s. Dual guns. Good score.
There we go.
All right, those are our thoughts on this particular whiskey. Dustin, Smokehead, 18 years old, extra black, 46% ABV, 2009 bottling. Dustin, finish. Okay, let me start that over. So if you guys had a chance to try this one, let us know what you guys think. The Smokehead 18-year-old extra black from 2009, 46% ABV. Dustin, until next time, we'll be with the folks.
Happy black drinking.
We'll see you then. Black drinking, huh? I didn't see it.
I was honestly trying to think if I could come up with a